There is a place known as the most mysterious on Earth, where compasses spin wildly, where signals disappear into silence. A place where the sky may seem calm, but within minutes, every direction you trust betrays you. And a place where hundreds of people have entered, but never returned. No drifting wreckage, no distress signals, not a single farewell ever sent. Only a void remains in the middle of the vast ocean where every trace seems to be erased. A void deep enough to swallow memories, people, and even the truth itself. And the most terrifying part is, no one knows exactly what happened. No one saw it. No one came back to tell the story. All that remain are signals cut off mid-sentence. They call it the Bermuda Triangle.
This anomaly here, it's identical to
the Bermuda Triangle is not an official location. It does not appear on navigational maps, and it has no clearly defined boundaries. But this name is used to describe a region in the Atlantic Ocean lying between 3 points. Miami, a major coastal city in Florida, USA, Bermuda, a small island group in the middle of the ocean, Puerto Rico, a US territory in the Caribbean. These 3 points form a vast stretch of ocean, and also the starting point of some of the strangest stories ever told. Since the early 20th century, sailors began reporting unusual experiences. They spoke of waters so calm that it felt unnatural. No wind, no waves. And then suddenly, everything would change. Fog would appear out of nowhere. Compasses would spin off course, and a feeling as if they were no longer where they were supposed to be. At first, these stories were dismissed as superstition, but by the 1950s and 1960s, as American newspapers began compiling reports of disappearances, the Bermuda Triangle became a name that haunted the world.
The Bermuda Triangle.
Sure is a nice day for a flight. Yeah.
December 5th, 1945. An ordinary afternoon in Florida, USA. The sky was clear, the sea was calm, everything seemed perfect. There was no sign that anything unusual was about to happen. 5 U.S. Navy training aircraft, known as Flight 19, took off for a routine training mission. The pilots on this flight were experienced. They were familiar with flying over vast oceans where there were no clear landmarks. They trusted their instruments and they trusted their skills. But after just a few hours, everything began to change. A radio transmission came through. At first, the voice remained calm. "We cannot determine our position." No one thought it was serious. Minor navigation errors could happen on any flight. But then the voice returned. This time, something was different. "The compass is not working." Silence followed for a few seconds. Then another voice broke in, unable to hide the confusion. They looked down at the ocean and said something that made everything even more unsettling. "The sea doesn't look normal." In that moment, those trained to command the sky could no longer control their own position. The control tower tried to guide them back. They were instructed to fly west. But when you don't know where west is, every direction becomes meaningless. The radio signal began to distort. The sound broke apart into fragments. Broken phrases came through. "We're lost, cannot determine, cannot see land." And then, everything stopped. 5 aircraft, 14 men, gone. No final clear signal, no coordinates, no trace ever found. Just an empty space in the sky. A rescue team was immediately dispatched, a large seaplane designed for search and rescue operations. But only minutes after takeoff, that aircraft also disappeared. No contact, no trace. Within just a few hours, 6 aircraft and dozens of people vanished in the same area. But the story does not end there. In 1918, a massive ship named USS Cyclops departed from port. It was a large U.S. Navy cargo vessel, over 160 meters long, built to withstand harsh ocean conditions. More than 300 people were on board. The voyage began normally. There were no reports of damage, no signs of trouble, and then everything disappeared. The ship never reached its destination. No distress signal was ever sent. No trace was ever found. No debris, no oil slick, no wreckage, as if it had never existed. It remains the largest non-combat loss in U.S. Navy history. What makes these incidents so terrifying is not just their scale, but how they happened. No clear warning, no signs of danger beforehand, and most importantly, no trace left behind. In a world where almost everything can be tracked and recorded, these disappearances feel like a gap in reality itself, a void that even to this day has no answer. When faced with unexplained phenomena, science always seeks rational explanations. One of the most common theories involves Earth's magnetic field. Under normal conditions, a compass points toward magnetic north, the direction defined by Earth's magnetic field. But in certain regions, this magnetic field can fluctuate, causing compasses to give inaccurate readings. For an average person, this may not seem dangerous, but for pilots or sailors, even a deviation of just a few degrees can lead them hundreds of kilometers off course without realizing it. Another theory involves methane gas. Methane is a type of gas that can exist beneath the ocean floor in the form of large compressed pockets. When this gas suddenly rises to the surface, it reduces the density of the water. This means the water can no longer provide enough buoyant force to keep a ship afloat. A vessel could sink extremely quickly, almost instantly. There would be no time to send a distress signal, no chance to react. In addition, the Bermuda Triangle lies in a region with highly complex and unpredictable weather patterns. Storms can form rapidly. Strong winds and massive waves can appear without warning. In particular, there is a phenomenon known as rogue waves, giant waves that rise suddenly, sometimes taller than buildings. These waves are powerful enough to sink even large ships. All of these factors may explain some of the disappearances, but not all of them.
We have to secure the hatch.
When science cannot fully provide answers, other theories begin to emerge. Some surviving pilots have reported seeing strange tunnels of clouds in the sky. They did not look like ordinary clouds, but more like a passage. When flying into them, instruments would stop working. Time itself seemed difficult to measure. Some researchers suggest that the Bermuda Triangle may be a region of spatial instability, a place where the laws of physics do not behave entirely as expected. Distances may become distorted, time may pass differently. There is also a well-known theory connected to Atlantis. Atlantis is a legendary city described by the ancient Greek philosopher Plato. According to his writings, Atlantis was a highly advanced civilization that eventually sank beneath the ocean. Some believe that the ruins of Atlantis lie beneath the Bermuda Triangle and may still be active in some form. Although there is no clear evidence, these theories continue to exist, because there are still phenomena that science has yet to fully explain.
As you can see, the data presents
Today, many scientists believe that the Bermuda Triangle is not actually unusual. According to them, the number of accidents in this region is no higher than in other parts of the ocean. The reason is simple. This area has a very high volume of ship and air traffic, and when activity increases, so does the number of accidents. In addition, many well-known stories have been exaggerated over time. Some details were added, some facts were left out. This has made the Bermuda Triangle seem more mysterious than it truly is. But there is still a problem. Not every case can be explained by data. There are still incidents that leave behind no trace at all, and it is those very cases that keep the mystery alive. The Bermuda Triangle may not be a supernatural place, but it represents something very real, the limits of human understanding. The ocean remains one of the least explored places on Earth. We have advanced in technology, yet we still do not fully understand what lies beneath its surface. Perhaps one day all of these mysteries will be solved, or perhaps we will have to accept that there are things not meant for us to understand.